Okay, welcome everyone to this training. This is part one of my opinion, probably that the next two training that are going to be also a module inside the course, which is great. So you're getting like primary information that probably very new, not only the way I teach it, but also I really feel like, life-changing. So the first going to be today, next Monday is going to be part two, and obviously is interconnected when it comes to the importance of it, okay? So today we're talking about, and I'm just trying to find a way to share my screen here. We are talking about the importance of the phase that you see here, okay? So now you see that there is always 4 phases. So we should really essentially be 4 trainings that need to get done for you to explain this properly, because this is kind of like the roadmap for any lady that surpassed the age of 30 years old, and obviously can go up until the 50s and stuff. It's similar, very similar things that needs to happen, okay? Which is basically is your body being stuck in a plateau, which is today, right? We're talking about how to rebalance your hormones to break this plateau. And then there is this part, which is going to be next Monday, which is basically how to reshape, how to make sure that we're getting rid of the stubborn fat. What is the time frame that you need, right? What is the time frame that you need to break the plateau? But also, what is the time frame that you need when you do break the plateau? I need to ask everybody that comes in to mute themselves, please, so that we don't hear backgrounds. Basically, today we're talking about, the most kind of like misunderstood part, which is basically that people feel like they need to go to a diet every single time they don't lose weight. I need another diet. I need to do more. Probably I don't do enough. Probably I maybe don't work out enough. Probably I eat more food, right? And again, it's basically like saying you do not probably get the context of the part that, it's really about, if you are in this stage here, like today, it's not about how much more you can do, it's about how less you can do. Like how much more, how less, and how contextual need to get. There is 3 reasons only why you are not losing weight in your 40. Why it's more difficult when it comes to around 40. Why everything that you used to do in the past, it's easy in the beginning, and now despite you doing the same things, it becomes more difficult, okay? People that come in here new, please unmute yourself so we don't hear backgrounds, just to let you know. And the reason is this one. Given the fact you do exactly the same things, your body loses muscle. Okay, your body loses muscle. This is reason number 1. Your body hormone shifts. There are, like if you are a mom, or if you have 2 pregnancy compared to 1, you lose the ability to do that. Please mute yourself. I don't know who you are, but mute yourself, all of you. Okay.
We can't hear you, Jerry.
Yeah.
You're muted.
No, I couldn't hear Jerry anymore.
Was this just for nothing? Like that you didn't hear the whole thing at all? Oh my God. Okay, we'll redo it again. Okay, perfect. Now most of you are here. Please, let's keep yourself muted except for me. That was very embarrassing, but okay, we'll do it like this. Okay. I was saying that today is about making sure that we are knowing the difference between rebalance your hormones so that you can start losing weight, versus what we do next Monday, which is going to be the part 2, is going to be losing the weight. Okay, most people want to lose the weight from the start, and this is kind of like the problem. Okay, it's not about losing the weight, it's about making sure today your body is ready to lose weight. Okay, there are 3 main reasons why under 40s people, or even 30 something, start not being able to do that. It becomes more harder. It becomes like you're doing the same thing like you used to, and as it used to be easy, now it's not. So there are main okay. Not. And again, please mute yourself, all of you. Like seriously, I don't want to like keep having to ask whoever is unmuted. Okay, perfect, excellent. So muscle loss, one thing. Your body loses muscle by nature. Hormonal shift. Your hormone, like this usually is like on moms, or on people that had 2 pregnancies, for example. Like it's harder to get back the hormonal flexibility you used to have. And then the last one is really metabolic slowdown. Metabolic slowdown is something that is created from the person, from the years of dieting. Okay, so this is why the main time that I say, how many times have you dieted? Okay, 5 times, 10 times, one diet. One diet is better than having dieted for several times, okay? And these are the only reasons. Simple as that. There is no, I mean, obviously when you have thyroid labs telling you everything, we're gonna see that today that's the case, but that's not why you're not losing weight. It's not that, it's not. It's just either metabolic slowdown, adaptation, hormonal shift, which is a part of you having this kind of symptoms, and muscle loss. Simple as that, okay? While people feel, this is why you feel that you don't get to, what people feel is like, I need targeted exercise. You know, is this impossible? My genetic is different. I'm big boned. I need specific advice. I need a different genetics. My metabolism is broken. Like this is why what people feels. But the reality is only that. Muscle loss, hormonal shift, metabolic slowdown. Simple as that. How does that play out in life? How does that, because obviously you understand this, but you also understand that, that you probably need to understand how metabolism works, right? Metabolism is not a calculator. Most people, the weight loss industry tells you that is a calculator, but metabolism is not a calculator, okay? I'm just trying to see whoever comes in. When you come in, please mute yourself. Perfect. The thing that metabolism is, it is not a calculator, and nor is a chemistry set. Chemistry set is like the people that say, as long as I'm eating low carb, I'm losing weight because the insulin. Okay, so that would be chemical, meaning like, okay, as long as I can manage my blood sugar, it's chemical, I'm gonna lose weight. As long as I can eat less calorie, I'm gonna lose weight. It's neither one or the other, but is a thermostat, is a stress barometer, is a seesaw. Like when you used to play with a kid, you go up and down. This is how metabolism works and reacts. If you get this part, chances are you understand why you're not losing weight today, and chances are you also understand the logic behind it, okay? Which is basically is that your metabolism reacts to short and intense kind of stimuli. It's like short, 10 minutes workout, 15-minute workout with a certain intensity and not so much frequency, or long and gentle. For some, you long and gentle could be walking. For some, 30 minutes if you do nothing. If you already walk an hour, probably 2 hours. So it's long and like the context, long and gentle, short and intense, okay? Which then means in nature, it would be this in real life. It's like you, instead of doing what the industry tells you to do all the time, which is basically eating less and exercising more, which create the first problem in the first place, you either do exercise more and eat more like an athlete, or you exercise less and you eat less. Like a person that very European-like someplace like in Paris, for example, maybe some of you are from Paris here, you tend to walk a lot. Like you tend to walk a lot, you have croissant, you have a bunch of like what most would define also not super healthy food, but you walk a ton, right? And that means, and again, you take these two approaches and they're very low in stress demand for your metabolism to get used to. So until today, you probably know only that you are needing to do a diet, right? It's like, okay, I eat less and exercise more. If I don't do that, I'm never going to lose weight. This is why I see people working out 5, 6, 7 times a week. This is why I see people starving themselves on the process. If you don't get this part, like this part works for a certain type of period of time. But also it's occurred to you maybe when you go to a vacation, right? And you eat more and you exercise less, that magically something happened. You come back and you look better. It happened, like it happened to me, your stress level goes down, your water that you were retaining goes down, and again, like this is something that you do maybe for a week. It happened to multiple people when I was out for working in the gym. Like I said, if you adopt a calorie deficit, and again, like I'm gonna make this sense now to you, to lose weight, this is necessary for real. So in a sense, there is part of it being a calculator. So you have 2,000, for example, calorie maintenance, and you need to create a 300 to 500 calorie deficit for you to lose weight. You can work out more, you can eat less, or you can do both to lose weight. When you have a diet that basically, instead of getting here, goes down to 1,000 calorie deficit, like a keto diet, a vegan, a restrictive diet, a carnivore, whatever you take away a food or a food group, or shake diet, Herbalife, Weight Watcher, all that stuff, you basically going down here, 1,000 calorie difference. So it happens to be weight loss for about a week, and then your body shuts down. This is a metabolic BMR, which is like your metabolism rate, goes down very quickly to something like, at some point, I think they did study, up to even 700 calories. It's lower. That means that if you are 1,200 calories, for you to see more progress, you need to eat even less or exercise more. And obviously, eating 1,000 calories is not an option for most people. And if you were to be an option, like soon your body will fight back, and we'll see now why. Okay, so if you learn that you can eat more and exercise more, and basically all you do is really eat less and exercise less, you basically are lowering the bar, but you still lowering the bar, but you're still creating the same deficit, right? Or you eat more and exercise more, you're raising the bar, you're still creating the same deficit. What is not good for your metabolism in this stuff, it's like too much deficit. That's not good, okay? Of course, there is it's contextual, that it needs to be according to the person, but this is basically what we're looking at. These kind of things work the following, okay? This is kind of like what it works. It's like each switches, metabolism toggle or switch, or whatever you want to call it, works like this. This is why a diet never works longer than a month, most of the time. You can keep it off for a month, but then you start struggling. The cravings, the energy, the sleep, and all that stuff. If you go to vacation, I said, something that you go away for a week and you eat more and instantly you look better most of the time. You feel less stress. This toggle you can do for 3 to 7 days. And it's a high, and it's kind of like a, high, actually, I just realized that this is kind of like the opposite way around. Low stress component and low stress component here. And on the other side is high, okay? Sorry, no, I was wrong again. So this is worked this way because there are stress components, like the fact that something works but is high stress, it still produces results for a shorter time frame. So as you see here, you can still use those stuff, but you need to use it less often. While eat less and exercise less without a lot of exercise, that can be used forever. You could potentially lose weight for a very long time. Being like an athlete, eating more and exercising more, 2 to 5 months probably. The most, again, it's contextual. I want to take with a grain of salt. It's not necessarily specifically what you should do or like how this works for you, but is more or less what you need to look at. Like this is how you break plateaus, okay? How would you know if you're in the right track? Because it's always about people say, okay, what should I do? But I have no idea if I'm doing it correctly. I mean, you have to know. Most people only look at the weight, which is basically the less reliable metrics. You can look at weight and measurements. You can look at body temperature. You can look at heart variability and heart rate variability, right? Or heart rate variability, meaning like if you wake up always with lower than 37 or 35, probably you take your temperature and you're always like that, chances are you're adapted. If your heart rate is always spiking, like you do exercise and after a eat interval training, you take from 160 beat per minute and it takes you about 2 minutes to go down, you probably adapted. Those are like the metric that is kind of like more difficult to kind of like track, but those are metrics. Energy level, mood, if you're cravings all the time, if you can't sleep, if you're stressed, if you have low energy, if you wake up in low energy, but you also sleep, or you wake up with high energy and then it crashes in the day. You wake up with low energy. You cannot sleep properly. You have fragmented sleep. All that stuff tells me that you are adapted. Simple as that. And if you do not fix that first, then it's very, very hard for you to fix it. You're basically delaying the inevitable, which is basically more time. We do not want a fast metabolism against popular belief that people want a flex metabolism. We want a flexible metabolism. Here is a person that has a unflexible metabolism, which usually is also called insulin resistant, if you want to see it this way. It's like your oxidation when on the left, you see a person that is healthy, you burn fat when you're not doing much, and when you're doing very, very slow activity, and you burn glucose, sugar, when you're doing workouts. things that are demanding in energy. When you're insulin resistant, you lose the ability to do that. As much as fucked up that sounds, is like you don't do that properly. You probably burn some fat and some muscle, but never, sorry, some fat and some glucose, but never efficiently. You burn when you're at rest and you burn when you are in workouts. Your body loses the ability to understand what's going on. And this is the problem. This is the main problem. Like I said, before I said, like, then obviously you say, okay, what do I do with all this information? Like, well, how do I apply really? Like, how this pretends to me? You have to understand that every single time you diet, you do that by nature. Like, you do that essentially, like, you create this thing, this toggle you created, the first one, exercise more and exercise more, eating less, you create it all the time. And I talk to people all the time and I say, okay, I mean, tell me more about what you did. I did keto, and then I really feel like it was unsustainable. I have to quit. And I said, but I really feel bad about myself because I feel like I didn't have willpower. No, you did not have the physiology to do it. And again, every diet should work, provided that your body is ready to lose weight. If you do restriction, keto, whatever, right? And you don't see that change, chances are the body's not ready, okay? And this is how the body works, okay? And it's like whenever you do exercise and it's too intense and you do activity, your body fights back and obviously create a metabolic compensation. And it creates more hormone, like leptin and ghrelin, hunger hormone. It creates the leptin goes down because you feel less full. And obviously the ghrelin is more and you feel more hungry. And then the cortisol is impacted and all that stuff. And this basically, again, it impacts your biofeedback. And if you always say, okay, the biofeedback is like, I'm not gonna listen to the body and I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Your body say, cool, okay, I'm gonna also do whatever I want to do, right? I'm gonna put an extra step on you, right? And again, and when you don't listen to the body, provided that you say, okay, I know that I'm getting less energy, I'm not losing weight, and it would only make sense that you say, I'm not doing this stuff. It doesn't make any sense to continue something that is not working, right? As humans, we're not very logical, unfortunately. Like, even though we should not do something, we do it anyway, right? And you say, but the problem is that I'm just not doing it correctly. So this is why the problem is, right? When you don't listen to the logic that your body it's kind of telling you to do, your body adopts compensation, which you call, for this purpose of the video, obviously, I don't want to bore you to that. I don't want to get into the chemistry. I don't want to get into the physiology. We're not going to talk on a way that is a clinical name, but it's called metabolic damage. Damage means that not broken. Damage means that you can still do something about it, okay? Please mute yourself, whoever you are. Let me see. We need to mute. Okay, perfect. Okay. Moving on. If you then start listening to the body, this won't happen. If it doesn't, you're going through first metabolic adaptation, second metabolic resistance, third metabolic dysfunction, and disease. Okay, the fourth one is disease. Let's start from the first, metabolic compensation. This is basically what happened, right? You saw this all the time. You lose some weight and then your body stops losing weight. In order for you to break the plateau, you need to eat less or exercise more. Okay, that's the logic. This metabolic adaptation or compensation is something that happens to people all the time when you diet. This is very normal. Let's call it this way. All you have to do to break this, and I'm going to give you very straight up information, is that going from there, you basically jump to another toggle. You stop for a while, you either eat more, you do one of this or you do one of this, okay? Very simple, very applicable information I'm giving you. I know it's going to be hard to apply, but this is what you need to know. Definitely not another diet. Definitely not going to willpower. This is not what you need. If you don't, and at this point, your body is essentially impacting the first hormonal part of the pyramid. So is insulin and cortisol. Okay, this is kind of like what a two thing is impacted. But to the level of adaptation, nothing is really impacted. It's more so like it's giving you clues. I'm making you sleep less, or I'm giving you some cravings. I'm making you thinking that maybe it's not the right thing you do when you do keto, right? Or you do cutting off this, cutting off that. If you continue and you say, no, I'm not, screw you, I'm gonna do whatever I want, your body creates resistance. Okay, this is like when you start really feeling something on the bottom and you start possibly even impacting, if you continue cutting off food or food groups, especially carbohydrates, especially starches, and a lot of restriction. The starches are the building block of your thyroid. If you cut them off, you're basically creating this situation here. You start sleeping less well. And you know that if you sleep less, your cortisol is impacted, your tendency to junk food is impacted, and needless to say that if you do that, that basically you're eating more calorie. And of course, all the rest, all the hormones, right? Step number 3, metabolic dysfunction and or disease. When you get impacted thyroid and when you keep going to willpower, right, your body creates things that you can see in the lab. At this point, you can measure insulin resistance. At that point, you can measure TSH not properly functioning for the most part. Again, this is contextual. Okay, I know it's going to be somebody watching. It's like, okay, this doesn't apply to me. Okay, right. But this is kind of a gist of it. This is what happens in metabolic resistance, right? So in other words, basically, to move out of that is as simple as understanding contextually where you are and what you need to do. Now, the most misunderstood part is that people feel like they need to go back from metabolic dysfunction, which is something that you see labs, and they try to say, how can I fix this? All I need to do, okay, I'm just gonna eat carb or not carb, or I'm gonna cut this. Like, no, there is 3 things I just said, right? I said there is 3 things. Like, you go from dysfunction to resistance, and from resistance to adaptation, and from adaptation to nothing. You just don't go from dysfunction to nothing. So if you cut off stuff, or you say, okay, I'm not gonna eat this, or I'm basically gonna stop working out and I'm gonna eat a bunch, then you get fat, of course. There is no context in that, right? So how do you move out from this thing? How do you move out from this thing? And let's see if I have one over there, which is more simple for me. Let me just take this. If you are in dysfunction, the one that will work better is basically going here. Eat less and exercising less. It's a down regulation approach. Your body don't need any more stress. So it could be, and again, it's contextual. For some people, and the metabolism doesn't care, it can mean that you need to walk 4 hours in a day if you really adapt it, and nothing else. For some other people, it means maybe 30 minutes plus a strength training workout again. I see you're watching, Jennifer. No eat, okay? That's like that's the one thing. There is no compromise. Like, it's very hard for people to get that. It's like, it's very important. Moving back to resistant, chances are either this or this might work. That's when you say, okay, cool, now I can put in some eat training. Maybe I can do now, I can test it. It's a test, it's not like that. When you move back to adaptation, again, you can basically switch off all the toggles according to your schedule, okay? According to whatever. When you move back to flexibility, is when you can actually go to tomorrow you can eat no carb, and today I can eat carbs, and I can have a cheat meal and I don't store it anymore. And it's like, this is when the body is actually ready to lose weight again, okay? Now, does this whole thing make sense? Does this make sense on at least the gist of it? Because I'm trying to give you something that can be logical at this point. You can move your head, you can say, like, if that makes sense. It's basically, in a nutshell, this is how you break a plateau. And obviously, I know it is, every switch is very detailed in terminology and also in like logic, but this is basically what needs to happen on a logical base. Now, what I created here, and some of you already took that test, and some of you are jumping with me on calls. And this goes for everybody, people that are inside the program and people like inside the program, obviously they already have a section for that. People not inside yet, this is kind of like opening your eyes. What I created is the ability for you to complete a quiz, which is basically a assessment, metabolic assessment, that tells me as a professional that if you have adrenal resistance, if you are waking up with low energy versus high energy, whatever like that, like I know in which side of these 4 switches you are, okay? Pay attention. This is very different than those that shit that you go online and you fill a questionnaire and somebody spits out something. It's like, okay, I'm gonna give you, they give you a bunch of like stuff that they basically a pre-made template, and it's basically the same thing according to the rules. Nobody can really assess something like that until you assess it. So the way that the quiz is made is like, you put the questions, right? But then basically the interpretation part is done directly with me or coach. It's like you take 20 minutes of your time, and really that's all it takes. And basically I'm able to give you a frame and say, okay, based on what I'm seeing, why it's not working to you, like why you're stuck, is this. I wish there was a way for me to create artificial intelligence, maybe as things are coming up, maybe in the future. Right now, there is no way for you to see any assessment online and they speed up something. Okay, you have hormonal here, you have thyroid. It's like, those things that you're gonna read is very misleading. So it's a assessment, but together alongside with a call that we need to establish that. It's not binding, okay? So if you're in the program, it's yours already. If you're not, it's not like you come in here and I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna tell you, this is the situation you're in. Do you want me to help you? Yes or no? It's still up to you, the choice. But I really feel like it's important, you know, because right now, if you are, I see a lot of faces here that, you know, do a very excellent job inside the group. And the worst thing it is like if you're getting results or you're supposed to get results and you're not getting it for something that you're missing, you're basically delaying a result for maybe months. So to give you context, and again, I'm gonna try to give you a specific context over here, this kind of stuff, when you are here, the last one, if you don't fix it, this is fact. This is like, it literally means that you're struggling for a year if you don't fix the last one. If you are in hormonal resistant, you're in a better position, but you have months of work. If you are in adaptation, as long as you fix it, probably no problem, probably a few weeks to a month. But it's contextual. Again, this thing alone, what does eat more exercise? Like you're probably asking, okay, tell me a little bit more what that means. That means a few strength workouts a week. It means from 5,000 to 25,000, maybe even 40,000 steps a day, depending the situation. It means relaxation. It means relaxing stuff, relaxing yoga, meditation, stress, massages, all this, like seriously, no stuff. It also means that probably between 1 and 3 meals a day. It means fairly low in carbohydrates and in calorie, but again, it's contextual. What is low in calorie to you? Are you a person that needs 1,500? Are you a person that needs 2,000? It's different. It means a moderate cut, 300 to 500 calorie, like that. What does that mean? That probably means few workout strength a week. It means HIIT training, whatever you like to do. It means that you can probably walk at least 15,000. It also means 5 to 6 meals a day if you want. It also means a lot more carbs. It means some cheat meal. Like it's contextual. The problem I really always feel like in 2023 people finally get it. It's like you don't need a diet. You don't need more information. You need to be compliant. The problem we have is compliance. It's like people do not know what to do and how to apply it, even though it's very easy, the information is there. This is nothing like super new for maybe a lot of people. Like for some people it will, but this is not public knowledge for life. There is a lot of people doing it already. Yet whoever doesn't do that, and I would say 90% of fitness industry doesn't, it frames you for a lot of aggravation, a lot of frustration, like if you don't do that. If you want to, we have 10 minutes left. If you want to get this, you need to go into the chat and type metabolics or metabolic. This is the keyword and put your name as well. I'll basically reach out at you with a link of metabolism assessment if you haven't yet filled it up. I highly suggest, and again, it's purely for you, like I'm making this training, I'm making it regardless, but it's purely for you. You take advantage of that because at the very least, I would assume that you want to know what is the situation you're in. With this being said, I hope this, okay, Rashna, you're inside a program. Next call we have, I'm gonna guide you through the whole process together. We'll do that as well. I'll send it over to you, but I will also guide you through everything. Excellent. Lisbeth, as well, I'll send it over to you. This is actually what you just completed. So there is no more information on that. Like the metabolism is definitely adapted, but I think I gave you a time frame. I think in about 3 months we can fix the whole thing for sure. Selma as well. You're already inside there. You would find it on the metabolic restoration phase 2. Like you can find it there. But if anything, I'll send it over as well. It seems like you enjoyed that stuff. This is only part 1 of the part 2. The part 2 is going to be a lot more. If you thought this was technical, like part 2 is going to be a lot more. We're basically talking about what is stubborn fat and what are the only thing you should be paying attention to. I know that now you're exposed to a lot of information in stubborn fat. There are few things that you need to pay attention to, but not all of them. So the goal is there Let's give you only the knowledge that you need. Now, we got about a good show up rate here. We got about like 10, 20 people. Every time we did that in the past, when we did two series, like part 1, part 2, I never got more part 2. I never got in part 2 more than in part 1. I want to break the paradigm shift. If you can go in the group right now or by tomorrow and really say, like, especially those that are not going to be able to see a replay, if you can really like what you saw, comment, let other people know this thing was good. Just make some comments about, okay, how cool this was. Because if you can get more people to show up, the more engagement I get on this thing, the more the group is going to grow. And that means more prize for all of you, whether you are with me or not. It's more so I really try to reward your attention. I have 7 minutes. Is there anybody that wants to unmute? Raise the hand and shoot a question if you want. It can be contextual toward the training itself. Just go real quick because we only have 6 minutes and I want to make everybody, some people at least to have a chance. If you have anything for me, you can unmute yourself and talk. Come on, it cannot be that I was so good, like on explaining. Like you must have some question. Come on, don't be shy. Okay, who's there? I can only see somebody, but I don't see who it is. Who is it?
I raised my hand,
Okay.
actually. Selma here. Hi, Jerry.
Oh, Selma,
again. Hi,
yeah.
everyone. Nice to meet all of you.
Good to see you.
So I understand very good actually what you explained, and I understand also that the very first step, especially for beginners like me, is really to identify in which basically stage are we. And I guess that also the kind of let's say form that we need to fill out or quiz also will help us establish that. But what can we do further? Because I understand that after it's about, so once we identify in which place we are, we try to place ourselves in, let's say I'm having the 4 images.
So it's like this. I mean, so you're basically going to be in a category, like given provided the fact, and I'm going to be very honest, I think we talked about that I don't feel like, I think I said to you, based on what I'm seeing, you are not metabolic adapted, which basically, that's like all this conversation is more like this goes down of your shoulder. Based on what I'm seeing, I don't see you, like you probably here.
Okay.
Which is good news.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be faster. So over here, we can make a calculation and say, okay, you need to lose about 10 kilos, whatever, right? And we say either 1 or 2 or up to 3 kilos a month, probably, right? Once a week or whatever.
Exactly.
Or 1 to 3% body fat percentage. That means that it depends, or weight, right? Not body fat percent, most like 1 to 3% weight, right? If you're more, right? That means that it's predictable. But obviously, we will need to see if that's the case when this one is true or not. Like if I see some resistance, if I see that it's taking longer, then we need to investigate. And again, unfortunately, it's not as easy as say, okay, you are in which stage or not. If you are but this is kind of what you do. If you know that you've been on a diet for the better part of, like, I don't know how many years.
Yeah.
Again, I need somebody to unmute me. So if you are struggling with that for years, chances are you're already in this one, right? And that means that if you know that you're here, and again, it sounds like you don't have a blood lab, right?
No.
You don't. Okay,
No.
you're not in the last one. You also sleep fairly well. Like you're not waking up. Like they're very, very clear. Like you're not waking up. Like you have some energy, but okay, it sounds like probably you are stage 1.
But so it's just that we talked. I remember about also the intermittent fasting that I myself do. I don't know also if other people also in the group are doing that. And I touch on also this hunger feeling, which I assume is not good.
You're still in step 1.
Yeah.
All the symptoms are telling me, like, and so all you need to do is, like, according to what you're doing. And right now, basically, we're doing this. Basically, now I'm saying, okay, eat less, but also exercise less. Few workouts a week, and we're just gonna start, looking at your calorie. There is no like medical prescription and say, okay, this is what it is, and you're gonna, like, it's not as simple as that. Everybody would be skinny otherwise. Like, everybody would be in amazing shape, no problem, no disease, no obesity, nothing. It's like, if it was that easy, it's not. We need to go by exclusion. What I can say is, like, doing from intermittent fasting to a keto is not a solution. What I can say is, like, when you experience those things, doing more or more intensity or more, like, most, like, we always go back to the logic. It's like your body is now already, like, you can say that there is stress going on, and you need less stress, not more stress. Okay.
So Jerry, I have one question. So, like,
we have about 2 minutes.
Yeah, just I will cut in 1 minute, don't worry. The body type like me who is heavy, who is obese. So you will suggest me, like, I have to be on the second picture you told, eat less and work out less, right? That is what you're recommending? No, or the fourth one?
It's contextual. It's like contextual. So basically, again, people that are already, like, doing a strategy specifically, which, like you, like Selma, like, we're doing something already specifically, the suggestion is sticking to that. What would be the differentiation, and like, seeing if you are already, like, if you need something else, it would be based on the feedback. Okay. But you are, and I am sure, Rashna, almost for sure, you are already in the weight loss part. Like, your metabolism is not adapted. I am sure.
But, like, leave Cecilia, she is hardcore workout person on FB. But, like, person like me who is doing like 9,000 steps and maybe
it's not about the weight.
Week.
It's not about a body type. It's not, like, remember. So if you're looking at the body type, you're looking at the slide, like a first slide, I say, okay, that's what you think. There is no body type. There is no real genetical disadvantages. Like, of course that there is habits, right? But look at, like, I'll take Cecilia. Again, there is no comparison here. I'm just taking, there is no body type, because look at Cecilia, what she's doing. She's walking a ton, she's working out, and she's also eating a lot. Okay, so there is no body type. Like, I'm saying, like, if you did for 2 weeks whatever she's doing, chances are there is a difference. Okay, so there is no, and again, it's not brutally, but it's like in a way, it's like, do you understand? It's like, it's very important that you live on facts. And the facts, in my opinion, you are not right now inside metabolic adaptation. So good news.
Okay, fine, cool.
Go, okay, ladies, if you need more help with this, just go inside the group, ask question, just put a post, just make a question about, right now you can do it. I'll jump in there, I'll try to make a live or something, or in fact, what I'm gonna do this. I need to stop this for the Zoom stuff. I wanna keep it to a minimum. I'm gonna go live right now in the group right now. If you wanna type off like question, just do it right now. And I'm gonna give about 10 minutes of my time to answer everything that you guys need. I'll be there regardless, and then I'll do it. Thank you so much for coming, and I see you next Monday. I'm gonna make the announcement.